I've gotten in a really bad habit of turning to Fox News to see what they're talking about when the rest of the world is talking about Russia humiliating Trump and his emissaries, Steve Witkoff and Jared Kushner. And when Trump's falling asleep at cabinet meetings, when Pete Hegseth is committing war crimes, what are they talking about on Fox? And so Jesse Waters, he tells us he's talking about Gavin Newsom crossing his legs. And for the first time, I actually kind of agree with Kayleigh McEnany. Play the clip.
Work in Tennessee.
Real quick, can we put Gavin Newsom crossing his legs? Kayleigh, when you see a guy cross his legs like this, I mean, what do you think?
I think about you, Jesse, and how you cross your legs every moment until the 5 starts and the cameras roll and you uncross them. That's what I think.
Fake news. That's the first thing she said that was ever wrong on the show. We'll let it.
First of all, when did Jesse Waters become the spokesperson for masculinity? Because he is absolutely the biggest, hair dye, makeup, crosses his leg, drinks out of a straw, but he tells everybody what masculinity is. And for 1 second, she had a little tiny bit of balls, but then she had to backtrack about it. But what do you think about that? They're talking about Gavin Newsom crossing his legs and Pete Hegseth is committing murder.
It's just it's a sustained continuation of the homophobic nature of the toxic masculinity that an authoritarian regime uses. And so this propaganda arm of Fox News, Jesse Waters is, I think, he's got some sort of, he's very obsessed with men. He talks about men and masculinity all the time. Jesse Waters talks about men and masculinity more than any of my gay friends. More than all of my gay friends combined. The way he talks about the way men suck on straws, the way men's cross legs. I think Jesse Waters is probably, in my opinion, deeply attracted to Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom is a very attractive man. And only a queen would notice Gavin Newsom crossing his legs. Any alpha wouldn't notice that, nor would they care. But Jesse does because he's very into being voyeuristic about men. And he proves that night after night after night on his show. He sounds like a man that is obsessed with men, which is also known as gay.
Well, that's the perfect segue for this, because we've talked about on this podcast more than once about how he admires Stephen Miller. He just glows when he's on. He calls him a sexual matador. Look at his face in this next clip. And I want to tell everybody the backstory on this. Pete Hegseth was on Katie Miller's podcast, and in response to a question about who would you not allow to babysit your children, his immediate response was Stephen Miller. And so Stephen Miller, to an adoring Jesse Waters, has a response to that.
Just say anybody could watch my kids except Miller.
Well, I think in fairness, he's worried that if I babysat his kids, they come back after a couple hours and they would say, "Daddy, why don't you send the military into Minnesota to help us with the Somali refugees?" So I think
Miller, you constantly. You're trouble. I bet people are just trying to contain you at the White House. Don't let Miller off the leash.
That looks like he has a crush on him to me. He's like that every time he comes on. And Stephen Miller, you're a racist fuck. You are a racist piece of shit.
I see that, and the way they are so casually minimizing Nazi style things, like what Stephen Miller would have in mind for Somalian refugees is, rounding them up and sending them off somewhere. And this is, he's the architect of Alligator Alcatraz. He's the architect of sending people to CCOT. And the way they're giggling and laughing about it, I don't even want to me, the overarching bond there over any sort of sexuality thing is the misery loves company of dehumanizing other people and how normal they feel around each other, and how they are so comfortable in each other's presence because they both have these really fascist style ambitions for other human beings. And when I watch them giggling like that together, that's what struck me the most about it.
It's just a thirst for cruelty. I mean, these are cruel men. And then, okay, so I don't know if anybody's aware. Do you know who Sabrina Carpenter is? She's this big, famous singer. Well, she has a song that the Trump administration used in a horribly racist video. And she publicly responds full-throated and says, do not use my music. Put up her tweet, please, Kylie. Okay, this is Politico. After the White House posted a video using one of her songs, Sabrina Carpenter replied that this video is evil and disgusting. Do not ever involve me or my music to benefit your inhumane agenda. So that is what she posted. The White House, because they have no respect for anybody, human rights, they don't give a shit. They don't care about ownership unless they own it. This was the response on the White House website. Here's a short and sweet message for Sabrina. We won't apologize for deporting dangerous, criminal, illegal murderers, rapists, and pedophiles from our country. Anyone who would defend these sick monsters must be stupid. Hello? The absolute murderers, rapists, and pedophiles are in the fucking White House. That's who they are. So this response is, they have completely stolen music and copyright infringements from artists, and they come out against it. And this is what they say to a young woman in her 20s about her objection to using her music in their bullshit videos. I just was so grossed out.
Yeah, it's the overt nature and how braggadocious they are about being dehumanizing to people or denying people rights, or the appetite they have for, quote, capturing immigrants, and how mainstreamed it's become. And it's all wrapped up into this weird cult-like megachurch Christianity, toxic masculinity, and Fox News entertainment. It's really, when you step back and look at it, it's just, it's wild as I sit here that like the White House account is doing that. And then when I think about the standard that is put on Democrats, Democratic leaders, and Democratic presidents, that, you know, it's way up here. And then what's put on Republicans, the bar is so incredibly low. And the soft bigotry of low expectations has really never been proven as much as it has been with all of these institutions and societal pillars that have caved and capitulated to the depravity of this administration. It's just mind-boggling.
It's mind-blowing. And then, of course, it wouldn't be a complete trifecta unless Fox News had to demean this same artist, Sabrina Carpenter. Greg Gutfeld.
We talk about
her?
every time we talk about affordability, we're not talking about Sabrina Carpenter.
True. You want to talk about her?
Well, here's the thing: is I'm not into the celebrity aspect. I'm into the phase of life. Think about, okay, like look at her as opposed to a representative of women her age, single, no kids, no responsibilities. They have yet to experience any transformative event that would inform their beliefs. So the things that she detests today, she will learn to and understand to value later, like we all have.
So basically what he's saying is when she gets married and has children, she'll have different values because she'll value her husband and her children. She won't give a shit about human rights anymore because why would anybody? I mean, it's just this kind of shit. It all goes, I mean, the hemisphere, the Foxers, it's all one. It's just, I'm so sad by it because it's so disgusting. It's so sexist. It's so hateful. And that's kind of the norm. The White House, it's just all, it's depressing.
Yeah, and all of this, in order for us to really understand the daily routine of a of a MAGA person is they watch Fox in the morning, then they go to work, and then they're on some form of algorithm in their spare time that's feeding them this misogyny and this form of toxic masculinity that they think appears so strong. And then they're going to their mega churches where their pastor is telling women that their role is to submit to their husbands. And the number one agenda for youth groups in these mega churches is virginity. Not being a better person, not having compassion, not making sure that people aren't judging gay people, trans people, etc. It's virginity. So the whole thing is about the control of women. And what Greg Gutfeld explained there at the end was right now she's not under control. She's rogue. And she, this is where the Republicans have a problem is, are they so pro-economy, job creation, et cetera? Well, they are as long as a white man is doing it. But if it's Taylor Swift or this young pop star, then they have a problem with it. And they want these women back under control in the institutions that they feel like they control. And so that's why they are so partnered with these hateful, horrible mega churches that have popped up all over the United States of America. And that's why Fox News is intentionally, by design, going to mention more Christianity in their reporting, because it's always been a lie that they accuse the left of virtue signaling. The truth is the right-wing Christian signals. They Christian signal passively and overtly all the time to their viewers to keep them into control structures. And a woman who has agency, autonomy, remember their meltdown about Cardi B singing about her wet ass pussy. This is it just continues on and on and on, that this is their worst nightmare. And because a woman like this, a woman that has money, a woman who has autonomy and agency, they need to get her back into an area of control. And they deem those areas as marriage and motherhood.
And I grew up in this internalized misogyny, sexism, evangelical, and everything Jennifer just said about control and women is true. Believe it. It is true. I've lived through it. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel, support us by buying our book. It's linked in the show notes.
Wait.
Oh, look, we have our Vanna White of I've Had It podcast and IHIP News right there. Thank you, Jennifer. That's just a great job.
You always do it, so I'm happy to do it.
All right. We'll be back later with more news.